What's going on, everybody? This is Bronco Juggalo.
And Bill.
And today we are back with the castle that King built.
Yes!
Now, I figured since I just put up a, favorite top 20 Stephen King movies yesterday, that it was fitting to do another Stephen King film segment.
Yes.
And today we are doing 1984's Firestarter. Now, you may have noticed this movie didn't make my list.
Yeah, it's... As far as the book goes, because we like to talk about the book,
Yep.
Have you read this one?
Not all the way through.
I did read this one all the way through. It's kind of a slow read, but... how do I put this? It's kind of like they were trying to do the superhero thing way before its time in cinema, and...
Yeah. Well, they've had other references to fire starters, like in Hellboy. There's a fire starter character, things like that.
Yep.
But with this particular movie, I'm just gonna say, guys, this movie is kind of meh.
It is.
There's some parts that are really good. Some parts I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed the acting in the film. We'll get all to that here in a minute.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's a meh movie, and we're gonna tell you why. We're gonna let you know why. I do remember when I started reading the book, I didn't really think the book was that great. It wasn't my favorite of the King books.
No.
And that's why I just kind of set it aside and I never got back to it. I need to get back to it one of these days. But I just set it aside and I went and read it for like the 50th time.
Okay, to say about the movie compared to the book, it's actually pretty close. You know, because I did read this all the way through. This is actually close, but like most movies, not close enough. And, you know...
Well, you can't get everything from a book into a movie because of time, period. I mean, that's just the way it goes.
Yeah. It's so hard to do because you can't get everything in there. Okay, what can we cut out? What can we cut out? Mm-hmm. Because we got to
you got to get your basic story in there and you got to make it entertaining.
Yeah.
So that's where you have to take some liberties, things like that, which they've done in a lot of films. And to their detriment or not, sometimes with these King films, that's why I haven't liked a lot of them. They've kind of taken liberties I didn't think they should take, especially with properties that I like as much as I do. The original It miniseries, for example, I hate that fucking movie. I still do.
Except for...
Tim Curry was good, but Bill Skarsgård was better.
I still like Tim Curry. We still have to give him props.
No, Tim Curry was good, but what they did with the story and the way they made it look and all, I just didn't like it.
Oh,
now, you take a look, you'd like The Stand. They did a great job converting The Stand, in my opinion. I love that one. In fact, I'm hoping that's in right now because I won that in a contest from another YouTuber.
Nice.
It was by Sean Blue Digital. Check out his channel. I'm hoping to get... my wife said I got a package in today, so I'm hoping that's it.
Nice.
Anyways, guys, this movie was directed by Mark Lester, and it stars a pretty good cast. So I'm going to read them off here. You're going to know most of the names on this list. We have George C. Scott, Martin Sheen, Heather Locklear, Drew Barrymore, and playing the main character, David Keith. Well, the main character that's not the little girl. It's her father. A little girl, Drew Barrymore's character, she has the power to create fires with her mind.
Yep.
She got this power because both of her parents were involved in an experiment with this agency called The Shop. It's a governmental agency, and they did some experiments on them, and that gave them powers. Well, she was born of two people with powers.
Yep.
And she has powers of her own. She also shows some evidence of telepathy. She can sense when they're coming, things like that. You know, she almost has like a spidey sense kind of deal going on.
Yeah, but not full blown. I can read their mind.
Yeah, it's not full. She shows some signs of being able to do that. Her and her father are on the run, and the government is after them.
Her father's power is kind of cool.
Yeah, he can control people with his mind,
but it
hurts him.
Really hurts him.
Yep. And the mother, she was telepathic as well. That's probably where she got her telepathic ability.
Yeah.
Original director of this movie was actually John Carpenter. They had him hired. He was going to start. He had started working in the pre-production. They fired John Carpenter. Can you believe that? They fired John Carpenter because of the failure of The Thing. So John Carpenter went out right away and found Christine. Thank God. It's funny that he went from this to another Stephen King.
Yeah, Christine is an amazing movie, and
it's
this one is
it's definitely considered more of a class. Now, this film has its fans.
It's not a horrible film.
I know a lot of people that like it. I got some friends that like it. I think Jason likes this movie a lot.
It's not horrible.
I'm not sure on that. Jay, correct me if I'm wrong. But it's just, it's funny that they fired him, and then he went on to do Christine, which became a much bigger film than this one.
Yeah.
There is actually a remake of this supposed to be in progress, well, barring COVID and everything. They talk about it maybe getting a 2021 release, but now with all this stuff going on, it probably won't happen.
Who knows?
Stephen King himself didn't like it. He thought that it was just total boredom and crap. And, he didn't like it at all. But that's not unusual for Stephen King. I mean, he didn't like The Shining.
No, he doesn't like a lot of the movies and television series made of his books.
I can see why. When people take liberties that he doesn't want them to take, or whatever. I get it.
Yeah, I do too. Take another drink.
I like this stuff. It's pretty good.
Bad.
Guys, this probably isn't going to take very long for these pros and cons because I've only got a couple written down. We'll start with cons. And the reason why I don't have a lot of pros written down is that this movie is fucking slow.
That's my first con too.
It's so slow. Nothing happens in this movie really till like the third act practically. Yeah. We have one little glimpse of some good shit happening around
the farm.
30 minutes in, the farm scene. And then that's about it for like ever, and you're just waiting like, okay.
Waiting.
And they're giving you all this scientific data and shit, and you're like, whatever.
I'm not a scientist. It's confusing.
But it's just, it wasn't that, it's slow. It's so slow. That's my only con because that wraps up everything I didn't like about the film. And it's just one of those things where that particular con is so overpowering, it overshadows the good stuff in this movie.
Yes, I'll agree with you there. This film is just dreadfully slow, and not a good slow where you're getting something out of it. There are those movies that you get that good,
they're good slow burns.
Burn. Mm-hmm. I got one more con for this film, and that's the G-men, the government guys. They seem clueless. Every last one of these guys seems totally fucking clueless.
That kind of does encapsulate our government. They're all clueless.
Usually people in the field like them have at least something going on up here. These guys, no. They are just bumbling through this whole movie. We lost them. The guy's shoes caught on fire.
You work for a government agency that has some similar attributes.
I am not affiliated with this man. I am not affiliated with any government agency.
Come on, you know as well as I do that there's some idiots there too.
Yes, but I am not affiliated. I do not work for the government. I am government man, here from the government. All right.
So pro time, guys.
Yeah, pros.
My biggest pro. The acting in this was really well.
Yes.
And I really only have one pro to talk about. I liked the acting. The action was pretty good when it did happen. But the acting was really good. And I really was impressed with Drew Barrymore. Being a child actress, being that young, she was really good and she did a good job. which I shouldn't be surprised. She did a good job in E.T. and a bunch of other stuff, but
Oh yeah, yeah.
But this one, she really was good in it, and I did enjoy her in the movie. The acting was really good, and George C. Scott is incredibly creepy. I mean, this is the guy that played Patton, okay? I'm used to him being the army guy.
Yeah.
That's the role that I know him as, is Patton. And in this, he plays like this half white, half Native American, fucking insane fucking assassin who's just creepier than shit.
Yeah.
And he was awesome in it. I did love him a lot. I liked him a lot in this movie.
That is a big pro.
That's pretty much
there.
my only pro.
That is a big pro there because he did play that Native American character very well, and from the books too. They hit that. I will give them that from the novel. They hit his character. They hit it on the head. They really did there. Because he was creepy as fuck, and the whole pretending to be scared of the dark thing.
Right.
It was great. That was awesome. I got a few more pros for this film. One is the beginning of this film with the experimentation on people. It reminded me of like early LSD tests in the Air Force. Hey, everybody's high, and then people start fucking dying and shit in the
Bleeding
test
out their
room.
eyes.
But they're just chilling.
Yeah, it did have a strong, creepy start.
Yeah, I love that. And I love the end of this film, too.
The last 20 minutes is about the best part of this film.
Yes. And I love the fact that Drew Barrymore, her character, she burns all the guilty, but takes time to spare the innocent. Like the horses. Love how she just loses it, and the guilty are burned, and the innocent, like the innocent horses,
No.
you know, that is a nice touch.
I mean, she goes full out Carrie Psycho, fucking
Yeah.
burning everybody.
Yeah. And
That's
they
something else
deserve
that I've
it.
noticed that, I mean, she kind of is like a Carrie Jr. This movie could be kind of like Carrie Jr. almost. You know, Carrie had the powers and she started some fires.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's,
And Carrie was more telekinesis,
yeah, she was.
not pyrokinesis.
Well, she did start a fire.
Yeah, but Carrie was more telekinesis.
Right.
She, Drew
But it's kind of
Barrymore.
in the same vein, you know what I mean? It's,
Yeah, but hers is more fire.
yeah.
Hers is mainly just fire. Burn, baby, burn. But yeah, other than that, it's like, this is really a blah movie. It could have been done way better, and if they are doing a remake of this, I would actually like to see it.
Shorter run time, faster pace.
Yes.
Make it a bunch better. Guys, that's pretty much our thoughts, I think, right?
Yep.
All right. Hey, we thank you for joining us for The Castle the King Built. We did Firestarter. Let us know what you'd like to see next in this segment.
Yeah, come on, give us some ideas, guys. What would you like to see? Because we haven't seen them all.
Oh, we got a lot to do still. This is Bronco Juggalo saying peace.
And Bill saying, good night.
Talking about mob shit. Couple $100 grand, nah, ain't much. One phone call, you can get touched. Jimmy gave Tommy a to-do list. Good fellas always got a fool